undoubtedly be lions. They are, after all, kings of the jungle and absolute beasts in their own right. That's right. Let's look at some statistics, shall we? Sharks, one of the deadliest creatures on the planet, about 100 people a year. Hippos kill a whopping 500 per year. These seemingly chill, docile creatures have an aggressive side to them you should hope to never see. These tourists seem to be just driving about on a safari. Look at how fast the Jeep is going, but the hippo surprisingly gets quite close. It gives up the chase quite quickly, and the tourists get away. But what would have happened if they were away? A hippo spotted them, and probably wasn't too pleased about them encroaching on his territory. So how does an animal like the hippo respond to such a heinous act of trespassing? Well, stick around to find 16 hours in the water each day, lumbering along the bottom of rivers and lakes in sub-Saharan Africa, with only their eyes and nostrils peeking out above the surf. And though they move pretty easily through the water, they can't actually swim. Instead, they just glide through the water by pushing themselves off other objects. And that's pretty much how we learn ice skating. Hippos eat only plants, about 80 pounds each day, but they're still one of the most aggressive animals on Earth. In fact, they can snap a canoe in half with their powerful jaws. With that kind of power, no hippo is going to fear a lion. Not that it's easy to hippo is covered with 4 centimeter thick skin that weighs about a ton, which is about the weight of a car without wheels or engine. There's no creature in the jungle that could hurt or kill the hippo, other than perhaps another hippo whose teeth can pierce right through a crocodile. Check out this guy, grabbing a croc by his tail and whipping him around. And this croc just seems to be having the absolute worst day of his life. So as crazy as it is, just check out what happens when this lion, who just needed some water, roamed into hippo territory. But there's being territorial, and then there's invading. After Escobar was killed, all his animals were shipped off to different zoos, but the hippos were left there. Back then, there were 3 females and 1 male. Today, there's about 80 to 120 of them roaming about, and the numbers will continue climbing. Why not? They have no predators, and no humans could poach them even if they wanted to. They're free to do as they like. Hippos live in sub-Saharan Africa, in areas with abundant water. They need it since they spend most of their time submerged to keep their skin cool and moist. Their large teeth and tusks help them fight off threats, even if that threat is humans or their own kind. Sometimes, young hippos will fall victim to an adult's bad temper. They might get whacked for misbehaving, as is the case with us monkeys, or get caught between 2 adults fighting. In some cases, male hippos will straight up attack a younger male hippo to cut out competition. Here, the dominant male launches an attack, and the baby starts swimming for its life. The large male manages to grab the infant in its mouth, give it a good shake, and it was all over in seconds. It was brief and brutal. As shocking as that is, it's pretty common in the animal kingdom for adults to devour or kill their young, especially if it's young males. Some even eat their young if there's a struggle for food. It's a common thing with big cats especially. Wish we could say things are relatively more laid back in the insect kingdom, but it's just as ugly, if not more. Giant water bugs, for example, has the female devour the eggs any male is brooding over. The good news is, they're fairly easy to spot. Bright red with narrow necks, curved appendages, and sturdy builds. Way easier than trying to find a hippo underwater. One of the more upsetting stories, and shows how far animals will go to defend their territory. Listen for oxpecker calls. It's often a warning sign that there's a hippo around. And last but not least, leave them alone.
Back.
As their numbers decrease, it's natural for them to get desperate to defend their own and resort to violent measures. We have to remember that this is their home too.